Punzi Grange. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about mulching since I'm out in the garden today mulching my strawberries. Now, as you can see, I've already done a little bit of mulching with some bark mulch, and in the past I used to mulch this with weed fabric, and as you can see, this is a type of black weed fabric that is porous. It allows moisture to go through, not like the clear plastic, which is important because I want to be able to get water down to the plants. But in the past, what I used to do is I would put mulch on top of this to make it look nice. But what would happen is that the weed seeds would land, and because this is a fine bark mulch, they germinate and they were able to root through. The roots were actually able to penetrate down to the soil below. So it made it difficult to weed. Some of them were easy to pull out, other ones would send a taproot, so it made it difficult. So I've decided to leave this and go just to mulch, especially now with the strawberries, because as you can see, now as the strawberries get older, they're starting to spread out and send babies, and when you have the plastic down, as much as the weeds can root, the actual strawberries have a more difficult time rooting through this weed fabric. But I still use some of it at the edge to keep my neighbors' weeds from coming through, and as you can see, they're making valiant efforts to get through to my side. So I will keep that there and mulch right up to that below my grapes here. Okay, now for the mulch that I'm using a fine mulch. You have usually roughly about 3 grades of mulch. You have this fine mulch, then you have a medium, and you have a coarse mulch. And a lot of the decision making for the size of the mulch chips, it depends on what you're using. For this application, for small plants like strawberries, I like to use the fine mulch because it's easier to work it right up. If they were bigger chunks, it would be more difficult. Chunks might lay on top. Before I did this, I actually came through and weeded a couple days ago, and that's why as I go through, I'll just double check and see if I missed any or some that have popped up, germinated. So I give it a couple days ahead of time. So now we're going to mulch in. The other reason, one of the downsides of using this finer mulch is that, as I mentioned before, the finer mulch, weed seeds like shotweed that can shoot, or dandelions that can actually fly in, any kind of seeds that will come in from another location can germinate, so you have to keep an eye. So it's not like you're going to mulch and get no weeds, but you will prevent germination of weed seeds that are already in the soil that are near the surface. But you won't prevent any kind of weeds that have roots, dandelions and those type of. I went through ahead of time with this dig it tool and got those out, because if I just kind of didn't get the whole root and there were some left, they would come right back up and I'd be weeding them again. So I came through ahead of time, weeded as much as I could, and now I'm coming through and adding this mulch. Now, some people in our area get away without having to mulch, and that's because we have such mild winters. In areas that have very cold winters, one of the benefits of mulching is to prevent heaving from frost, because you even out the temperature during the winter. But most winters we don't get that much heaving and changes of temperature. We're pretty moderate all through the year. But our benefit here, one is once the summer comes, our summers are usually dry. It reduces the amount of water we need because it prevents water from being evaporated up from the soil. And the other benefit, this is the one I like, and this is where inorganic mulches don't compete, is that as the mulch breaks down, right at that interface with the soil, nutrients from the bark start to go out and organic matter gets into the soil. So that is one of the best benefits for using organic mulch. And you can use it anywhere. You can use it in vegetable gardens if you want, and you just dig it in, just add a nitrogen fertilizer. Because if it gets into the soil, it will take away some nitrogen. But if it's on the surface, it'll take care of your weeds, reduce the amount of water you'll use, and make things look really nice. Till next time, this is Peter Punzi, Horticulture Guy. Live long and garden.